Brian Goodman's Last Seen Alive is no family movie. It's a pretty insane thriller which follows a woman's kidnapping by drug dealers. It seems like an ordinary thriller at first, but there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. If you were at a gas station and turned around to see your wife missing, what would you do? Let's look at what you should or shouldn't do in a situation like that in this video. First, don't fight with your spouse right before a road trip. No, seriously. In the movie, Will Spann is driving his wife, Lisa, played by Jamie Alexander, to Emerson. She's apparently going there to her parents' house because the two had an argument and Lisa needs some time off from their relationship to see if it's worth it and whatnot. Lisa also had an affair with another man a few months ago. Maybe this made her realize she wants more from marriage? Of course, the car ride is super quiet and awkward. You can just feel the tension between the two. In fact, in the beginning, it's just silent. When they start driving towards Emerson, viewers find out a few minutes later what actually went down between the two. Second, don't turn around and leave your life alone at a gas station. In the movie, Lisa is kidnapped by drug dealers at a gas station. Now, how did this happen? Gas stations have a pretty shady vibe, especially when they're empty. It's even weirder because in the movie, everything is pretty silent. Lisa goes inside the store at the gas station to buy some water and use the restroom. Will is filling up the car and prepping for the ride ahead. When Lisa walks out of the store, a truck pulls up in front of her, and this truck is huge. It successfully hides Lisa from Will's view. A man comes out of the truck and starts talking to Lisa, and soon after, the truck is gone. After it drives away, Lisa isn't anywhere to be seen. While Will is waiting, he obviously starts to become extremely stressed out. Next up, definitely do call the police immediately after your wife goes missing. Even though the couple is fighting, Will did the right thing by calling the police immediately and informing them of his wife's disappearance. After Lisa doesn't come out of the store for a while, Will looks everywhere near and inside the store. Of course, his wife is nowhere to be found because she's been kidnapped. He even asked the shopkeeper if he's seen Lisa. It's pretty strange how the shopkeeper denies seeing anyone that matches her description. The viewers know that Lisa did have a small conversation with the guy and left him a tip too. Right now, this whole situation seems pretty stressful, and Will is losing his mind. After calling her phone and all these various efforts, Will can't seem to get a hold of and find Lisa. To him, it's like she vanished into thin air. Of course, this isn't the case, but he does the most logical thing that one can do in this situation and calls the police. At this point, he's very visibly stressed, and we can imagine why. His relationship isn't doing well, and on top of that, his wife has disappeared, so the audience can definitely sympathize with him. Will Spann definitely does the right thing by informing the police, and it's what any normal human should do. The next few hours after someone goes missing are usually the most crucial. At this point, any and every tip or lead for the police is useful, and it's what the police and family or the kidnapping victim need to get ahead with their search. Now, what happened between the couple? We've talked about a few things you should and shouldn't do, but let's look at what the big fight between the couple was actually about. In the car ride, when the two are on their way to Emerson, the tension is pretty palpable, and the couple is silent in the beginning. When they start talking, we understand that Lisa's pretty unfulfilled by their marriage and feels like Will has been kind of absent for most of it. Will even admits to this because he hasn't been present physically or mentally for her. It looks like this is the main reason for Lisa's affair with another man 6 months ago. The affair probably made her realize that there's supposed to be more to marriage than what her and Will have, and she probably wants to explore it. This is why she packs all her stuff in Will's car and prepares to go to her parents' house, where she can think about and gain a new perspective on the relationship, if it could be salvaged, that is. This whole thing seems pretty intense, but the movie, of course, gets more intense after Lisa's kidnapping. Next, don't try to arouse more suspicion if you're a kidnapping victim's husband. Let's get back to what you shouldn't do if you find yourself in a situation like Lisa and Will's. Everyone's fingers usually point to the husband. Of course, the fact that Will and Lisa's marriage wasn't going particularly well is also a huge factor in this, because it definitely gives Will the motive. After the whole thing at the gas station and the phone call to the police, Will continued to drive to Lisa's parents' house. Lisa's parents already didn't approve of Will, and we know this because of their reaction to when he reaches them. Of course, when he tells them that Lisa has disappeared, they immediately become suspicious of him. The police had also interrogated Will at that point, of course. They realized that the couple wasn't really doing too well, and the fact that Lisa had an affair just a few months ago made Will the top suspect, because we all had the motives. In cases like these, the husband might also be accused of murder, but for some reason, the lead detective on the case lets Will go for the time being. Next, do put in some extra effort if you think the police isn't doing enough. This might not be the wisest thing to do in real life, but in Last Seen Alive, this is exactly what Will does. does. Since the town that the gas station and Lisa's parents' house is in is pretty small, everyone knows everyone. Detective Patterson, who's leading the investigation, seems to know the shopkeeper, Oscar, at the gas station really well. He goes to him and asks for some CCTV footage, to which the shopkeeper says that the camera isn't working, so there's no footage at all. Of course, this isn't true, and Will is the one who realizes this. Once Detective Patterson leaves, he goes into the shop himself to assess the situation. While he's looking at the camera, he realizes the light is on, and this means that it's definitely working. This also means that Oscar lied to the police, so he starts threatening him, and this results in a nasty fistfight between the two. Will beats Oscar up and takes a hard drive with the camera footage to the police station as well as Lisa's parents. Definitely don't trust your local handyman too much. After everyone looks at the footage, they realize that the guy who walks up to Lisa when she's leaving the gas station is Knuckles, and everyone knows him. Apparently, Knuckles and Lisa went to school together, and it looks like Knuckles didn't have any stability growing up at all. He never really had a proper job and didn't study properly either. Now, Knuckles does odd jobs for everyone around town, including Lisa and Will. This is kind of a huge breakthrough, but wait, there's more. Lisa's mother identifies the vehicle in the CCTV footage too, and says she saw it parked in a garage a few days ago. Next, don't attempt to approach your wife's kidnapper unarmed, and don't hold him hostage. Will is charged once he finds this out and goes to the garage where Lisa's mom saw the car. There, he breaks in and sees Knuckles packing his bags and leaving. Of course, he won't let this happen, so he and Knuckles fight, and Knuckles tries to pull a gun on him. Will still beats him up and demands to know where his wife is. Knuckles says that she's with a very dangerous man and that he doesn't want to leave her alone. Without hesitating, Will ties Knuckles up, puts him in his car, and holds him hostage. He's pretty emotional and asks Knuckles to tell him the way to Frank's. Will gets stopped by the police and they arrive at the scene, along with the detectives. Knuckles is also questioned and admits to the whole plan and says that Lisa is probably at a drug camp right now and that Frank's probably killed her. Finally, don't believe the kidnapper. Knuckles keeps insisting that Lisa's been killed by Frank. The police, of course, are still going to continue with their investigation after questioning him. Peterson reaches the drug camp where almost everyone is dead and Lisa isn't anywhere to be seen. At last, Will rescues her from some secluded area in the camp and she's definitely alive. You should always do your homework in a situation like this. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think you would be able to make it in a situation like Last Seen Alive? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.